What up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and of course, I got some new news concerning Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders has made a statement about his feelings in the Golovkin-Martirosyan fight, and he simply stated that, Golovkin fought a welterweight 2 years off the couch. So there's not really much more than really to celebrate, and it wouldn't really actually a qualified win, and that's basically what Billy Joe Saunders said, regarding that. And I think this came from the remarks that Abel Sanchez said, and Abel Sanchez said that Billy Joe Saunders wouldn't fight Golovkin in a million years. There's no way that would happen. And I think this is what sparked everything. I think Billy Joe, heard this, and Billy Joe's another vocal fighter, which I like vocal fighters, because they speak their mind. And that's what you got to be. You got to, the promoter either gets 20 to 30%, you know what I mean, but you get the bulk of that money, so you have to do the rest of that percentage in promoting yourself. So if a promoter gets 30%, you have to be the other side of the promoter and do the other 70% to promote and represent yourself. You know what I mean? And Billy Joe Saunders is doing that, but but rightfully so, because you guys forget this year, Billy Joe Saunders signed his contract to fight Golovkin in June. Okay, well, that side from Golovkin's side of the contract was not signed due to Golden Boy and his desire to have the rematch with Canelo. You know what I mean? And karma's a bitch. What happened in that fight? That fight didn't happen anyway, and he ended up fighting Martirosyan on HBO. You know what I'm saying? So, that's really what happened. So you can't say that Billy Joe Saunders won't ever fight you in a million years when he signed his part of the contract. You know what I'm saying? That's like there is no argument with that. So anybody that's just a bona fide, Golovkin fanboy or fan, right? Hell, I'm a fan. I like Golovkin, right? But you see this type of stuff and you're like, Abel Sanchez says a lot of things. He speaks his mind. He kind of reminds me of Freddie Roach because, but it just shows confidence in your fighter and trying to boost your fighter. Or it could mean that maybe Abel Sanchez is saying these type of things to make Billy Joe Saunders fight next, or, steam up a particular fight. Or you might have just been telling it, or saying what he believes to be true, right? But we know that's not true because Billy Joe Saunders was coming off a good win off David Lemieux, and he was pumped up to fight Golovkin, and he signed a contract to fight him in his home country. So I don't think anybody that wants to fight him, that's also a champ, that would regress and revert to fighting someone in their home country would never fight him. You know what I mean? And really, truth be told, the only reason Golovkin didn't fight him, he was just so afraid of losing the Canelo fight. You know what I mean? It's like Canelo. Yeah, I know he has the money, and I know it was, but you got to ask yourself, where is Golovkin's focus? That's the thing you ask yourself. Is his focus to get all the belts, to be the undisputed champion of the world, or is it just to follow money? Or follow the big fight purses because you're 36 years old or 35 plus, and you're trying to make enough money before you retire. Because remember, guys, Golovkin's wife wanted him to retire, and he was considering retirement last year. You know what I mean? And this is before he fought Canelo. So, that might be his focus. His focus might have changed. And Abel Sanchez is just talking smack, you know what I mean? Just, blowing smoke, because Billy Joe Saunders, I think, is ready. And I'm gonna talk about Billy Joe. Billy Joe Saunders was a guy. He was once a guy that did not have the confidence. He even said it. He said it in a Chris Eubank I think it was a post conference after they fought, or, but they were speaking, and Billy Joe Saunders told Chris Eubank Jr., "Look, I think Golovkin would beat him, which is him, you're talking about himself, and Chris Eubank on the same night." You know what I mean? And then later on, a year later or a couple years later after that, he had totally changed his mind. He was like, you know what? I would think Golovkin would beat us back then, but I think now he's slowed down a bit. He's got a little age on him, and I think I could take him right now. So that tells you right there the confidence in Billy Joe Saunders is risen to the point that, yeah, he wants to take on Golovkin because he believes now he can fight him. Because it's like this. A lot of these fighters need to be honest with themselves. A lot of guys duck other guys because, honestly, they don't really believe that they can beat them. You know what I mean? And if they had like an unblemished record, right, they wouldn't even make that attempt anyway. You know what I mean? They would hide or use any type of excuse, or just price themselves out in order to stay away from that fight they know or they feel they can't win. If you feel you can't win a fight, you're not going to fight a guy. You're going to, hey, man, chill. You know what I mean? But this is the fight game, so you can't do that necessarily, but there's other avenues that you can do. Like I just said, price yourself out, or you can, make excuse you're injured. You know what I mean? You have all types of different excuses that you can avoid a fight that is a hard fight or a fight you think you can lose, or a fight you believe you can't win. So, if the confidence is not there, you're not going to try it, right? So Billy Joe Saunders now believes that he can beat Golovkin, and that's what I'm talking about. It's unfortunate for Golovkin because a lot of guys ducked Golovkin back in the day. You know what I mean? And regardless of how I feel about people waiting guys out, it's also a strategy for certain fighters. It's also, the plan and isn't work. Like, okay, no, just wait. And it's with the fighter and the promoter. They get together like, no, that's a tough fight. You know what I mean? I'd love to be a fly on the wall to hear these particular conversations between the promoter and the fighter. And how they're just, blunt and, some of them might try to sugarcoat it. But I believe some of these guys like, what's his face? I forget his name now, but you have guys like Eddie Hearn. He'll smooth it over. Like, nah, you don't want to have a fight like that. We want to wait on that type of fight or something like to that magnitude. Let's fight them on down the stream or on down the brook. But but a lot of these promoters, man, they will definitely. Tell them the way it is. Like, I'm going to tell you, that guy couldn't knock you the fuck out. And, then we lose all type of credibility if you lose and stuff like that. And you got to look at it. Golovkin does have a lot of pressure on him because he has almost all the belts except the WBO. He's in the same position as Anthony Joshua. The only difference is Anthony Joshua is not beating guys like Tony Bellew, someone that's coming up from a different weight class like Golovkin is. That's why he's being criticized the way he is, because he could have fought so many other guys. Everyone knows that, it was like three other possibilities that he could have used. You know what I mean? So my allergies are still killing me, man. Can't wait for this month to be over, like really. But yeah, Billy Joe was right. Billy Joe was right for being vocal, for coming out. You know what I mean? And, to look at that fight would be a difficult fight for Golovkin, because I don't, even in this fight, I can tell. Andre Ward said something very, very true. He said that, Golovkin, the way he fights, he has a fan-friendly style because, he gets knockouts and he does come forward and he does throw punches, but the thing is, the way he's fought, his style has caused him, to have old legs. He's slower. He's slowed down a bit, and it's bad for a fighter if you you take that type of punishment in the ring or the way you fight, and it's took a toll on him, and then a guy somebody fresh and young like Billy Joe Saunders. Come on, man. The dude's like 20. He's in his 20s, bro. You know what I mean? Golovkin is 36 years old. And, if he's going to fight Billy Joe, he needs to do that now. You know what I mean? But if his focus is only money, we will see in September. So we'd either see a Billy Joe Saunders fight for legacy and unification, or we'll see a Canelo Alvarez fight for money. So then we'll see where his focus truly is, because the proof is in the pudding, and it's about your actions. It's not really what you say, all right? But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about what Billy Joe Saunders said, how he feels about this particular fight or this particular opportunity. Please subscribe. And again, you guys been counterpunched. Peace.